And my father was a doctor, a general practitioner, Dr. Fennely, yes, Leslie Fennely. He was a general practitioner in Bristol, and he was called to look after Captain Tepas. I'm told Captain Tepas flew off on one occasion, and he perforated his duodenal ulcer, and so he had to fly back, and that's when my father was called to see him. And then he became friends of my mother and father, because they realized here was a Dutch airline pilot stuck in Bristol, having left his family in Holland. He lived not too far from where we were living, and mother and father used to ask him over, occasionally for social events and that type of thing. I just remember him as a great character, a man who very much impressed me as a small boy. He used to have the occasional tangerines and bananas, which we didn't see during the war. And I can remember too, he telling us about Christmas, because at Christmas, when the carol singers come around singing carols, he was fascinated by this because he'd never met that before. And he'd open the door and all the carol singers would come in, and he would sort of give them fruits and such like, and entertain them in his home. But I suppose the memory, wartime memory that I have particularly of him was the time that he phoned my mother. At that time my father had gone out to North Africa. He was serving in the war. My brother was born on the 14th of May, and Captain Tepas rang her, and my mother was not an emotional person ever, but she was left rather tearful, and he had said to her that the end was coming, they would get him, and that he didn't have very much longer to go. And in fact, on that flight, he was bringing back a christening present for my brother. My brother, as I say, was just born 2 or 3 weeks before this, and he was bringing back a present for his christening on that flight. So my brother never got his christening present.